Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today I am in Washington, D.C., and I'm at the Power Up Conference 2024. It's the 10th year anniversary as well. Like, we're celebrating a whole lot. Also, Women's Equality Day. We got a book launch going. A lot of things happening in D.C., and today my guest is Dena. So, Dena, first off, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so a lot going on this year in the conference.
Yes.
What's your history with the conference, the organization in general? What brings you here this year?
My history with the conference is Gloria. I was in her first cohort in 2017 with her leadership work, which was really impactful for the nonprofit that I started. And I was one of those crazy entrepreneurs that started my own nonprofit. And, you know, you meet these incredible people and mentors and leaders along your journey. And she was one of them in 17 that really impacted me and how I ran my organization and my passion and my clarity and my stand. And that is actually, ironically, the award that I'm winning tonight has to do with that. So we've had a long history together, and I'm just so honored to, come to the conference because I love attending, but this year being an award winner.
What do you think? First off, congratulations.
Thanks.
That's amazing on the award, of course. What do you think? What was so meaningful that just kept you coming back and that keeps you here? Because it's very special. I've interviewed multiple people, and multiple people have told me they came back from, way back when, this year, or whatever, and they're going further back. And I'm like, I do a lot of conferences, just so you know, it's a big part of my coverage. And you don't hear that at many. Like, it's not like, I've been coming for this many years. What keeps you coming?
Well, I think the power of a great conference is community. Because conference, it can inspire us, educate us, which is, reasons we go to conferences. I love it. But I think this sense of community, which Gloria does so well, she does such a powerful job at creating community where there's great collaborations, and especially with women, I mean, that is powerful. And you want to go back and back every year for those collaborations and the sharing and the introductions. And really, women are better together, and she just does a great job in the community. Of course, the education and inspiration is there, and it's amazing. But I think that layer of community is the sticky point.
Can you talk just a little bit about, in general terms or otherwise, just some of the things you've learned as being a participant that have helped you along the way in your journey? Because you've evolved through this. As you said, this was kind of some of the beginnings of that, of starting your foundation.
Especially, when you're running a nonprofit, there's definitely some of the same rules of entrepreneurship and running a for-profit, but there's definitely some distinction of things that you have to do in a nonprofit that are unique. And I think, for me, that there was just a couple of the power tools that she teaches that were really powerful, especially at the moment that I learned them in 17. It was a pivotal point for the Girls Rule Foundation because we were established for about 4 years at that time, but we needed that oomph, right? That movement. And what I got from her was, don't promote the brand, promote the stand. And for me, the stand is Girls Change the World. We do work with teen girls and helping them become the next generation of leaders. And to me, it was the thing that I needed to hear at that moment of like, what is your stand? Get crystal clear in it. Know how to verbalize it. Know how to pitch it, love it, share it, and put it everywhere. And it was just that clarity. I always say clarity moves the train, confusion derails the train. Whether you're a for-profit or you're a nonprofit, you've got to get clarity in your leadership and where you're going. And to me, that was the thing of just that. What is your truth, which is just, one of the 9 power tools that, what is your truth and how do you stand for it? And it just helped me get that clarity and that strength. And it did exactly what I wanted it to do. It just took us to a whole new level. In the next 3 years of our organization, I mean, we just grew 10 times.
Wow.
So it was very impactful.
Let's go further into it. Girls Rule Foundation. Tell me more.
We do empowerment and leadership programs for high school age girls. And our 3 pillars are self-esteem, confidence skills, financial literacy skills, and 12 leadership skills. So we have after-school programs that do that, and then we have a leadership summer camp that is extraordinary and application only, because we want girls who are like, they really have their hand up saying, I want leadership skills on my tool belt. And I just feel like this is kind of my fire under it, is we train females 20 years too late. We're getting to them late 20s. If you interview everybody at this conference, I would put money on it that 80% of those women said, I didn't get my true empowerment work, financial literacy, really empowered around money and money management and earning money, and my leadership until my late 20s or early 30s.
If they're lucky.
If they're lucky.
If they're lucky, I would say.
The other 20% are going to say, I got it in my 40s or 50s.
Yeah, that's what I think.
We certainly don't start at 12 or 13 or 15. And if we truly want this next generation to outlead us, we got to start earlier. So I'm just really powerful. I'm really passionate about helping girls become powerful. And that takes putting tools and skills on their tool belt. So really great programs and advocacy, of course.
Where'd you get the idea originally? Where'd that start?
It started with my own story. I think we all have a relation to our cause work.
Yeah.
I kind of felt pranked in my 30s of like, what?
Yeah.
Where have all these tools been? Why am
Yes.
I learning this at 30 or 32,
Yes.
right? So it was that.
It's a good word too, pranked. I like that because it feels like it. Like, wait, this is all this knowledge, or this has been here and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, where's the camera?
Yeah.
I get it.
It really did feel. I felt pranked, and I thought, where the heck has this tool been, or this skill set been? And the more I worked with women leaders and women CEOs in my day job, I'm a coach and consultant to female CEOs. One after another added up, and I looked around and I said, I have about 500 women that have said the same thing. And then it became 1,000, and then it became 5,000. I thought, I think we have a trend here where we are not training females to really succeed at a young age. And here's the thing. So that happened, but it was what really, that knowledge fueled me. But what really lit me on fire was I then looked at the girl statistics, because all girl statistics are recorded, and when I looked at that, that was the data.
Yeah,
data fuels my fire.
Okay,
and that's where I went. This story is not made up. This is not right. Our opinion.
Yeah,
there is a disconnect here. So that's when I said, I've got to do something about it, and I certainly can't change the life of every girl on the planet, but that's why it takes all of us to do the missions that matter, our own work that we're being called to do. And so for me, I've reached about 20,000 girls, and I feel like that's
enormous.
The beginning. I feel like
amount.
I'm only
Congrats, though. That's
getting
a
started.
huge amount of people to influence their lives, and there's a ripple effect in that.
It
right?
is.
Like
yes.
now, those girls and their children, and their children's children. Like you're changing generations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. I see it. So, looking back. Now you have this idea, you decide, you see the data, and you're like, okay, that lit you on fire. Now it's time to take action.
Yep.
What was it like after I say this, I'm putting these words in your mouth, jumped off the ledge and, you went out and you did, and you put this idea into the world. What was that? And the reason I ask this question is because there's entrepreneurs, there's business owners, or would be watching this right now that are maybe being held back by something.
Yeah.
And so what was it like when you got to that other side?
Well, I believe in betting on yourself. I just feel like we all have gifts and greatness and purpose, and they are waiting for you to say yes. And what gets in our way is fear. I mean, it is our number one barrier, right?
Yeah.
So when we can put that fear aside and say, you do not serve me for where I am going, and you say yes and you jump off that cliff, what you're saying yes to is the first step. You know, I know 100 times more today than I did 14 years ago when I said yes, right? So we have to trust. I think one of the biggest things I would say, and I always say to new entrepreneurs, whether they're starting for-profit or nonprofit, is you're going to take this one step at a time, one day at a time, and you're going to surround yourself with mentors and leaders and friends and champions, and you're going to learn as you go. And if you don't trust that, you'll never say yes. Because I knew I knew enough, a couple steps that I could say yes, and then you figure out the next step.
Yeah.
And I think you have to do it with trust and realize there's so many people that went before you, right? And there's so many people that are willing to mentor. And that's another reason why these conferences are good. You go to conferences because everybody's in the same boat. We're all trying. Now, we're at different levels of figuring it out, right? So don't compare, my middle to your beginning, right? Those are two different worlds, right? And like I look at very established, very well-funded nonprofits, and I can easily go, oh my gosh, they're so much better. You can't do that to yourself. Shame will steal that joy. So I think it's really important to have grace with yourself, take it one day at a time, and have trust that you're going to figure out the next step, right? I'm at this conference, by the grace of God, because we had to close. All of our programs are live. And with COVID, and with children, so we closed for 3 years. And so we just reopened it about 8 months ago.
Congratulations. That's amazing. So you impacted over 20,000.
The cliff again.
So you impacted over 20,000 people minus 3 years.
Right.
So now it's, wow, that's an amazing story. And and a story of resilience.
Yes.
Many people would have walked away after that and said, okay, well, we did enough.
We did enough.
Yeah.
And trust me, I went there.
I know it wasn't easy. No, of course not.
Many times.
I get
through
that.
those 3 years. You know what? We did enough. We did enough. And
But for those next girls that are being affected, they're going to be their lives. Like that keeps it going.
Yes. And really, girls need us more today than they did then. Girl statistics, the statistics that just came out are more devastating than pre-COVID. So it's a little daunting, whatever your cause is, whatever problems you're solving in the world, whether it's economy, it's environment, it's girls, whatever it is, these problems are big, right? And you can't get so overwhelmed with the bigness of your problem that it makes you quit. And I think that's where, there's many moments during COVID where I just said, this problem is so big, I can't even come close to solving it. And we've done enough, right? But when you have a calling, you just say, you know what, I'm going to figure it out. And so it's been 8 months we've been back, and put on our summer camp this summer. We're relaunching our after-school club nationwide. We're winning an award, right? So it's one step at a time, and it's a lot of grace and asking for help. It's restarting an organization. It feels really weird because it's established. I've had this for 14 years, but it's 2.0. We're starting from zero again.
Yeah.
So it's old and new. So it's exciting.
It's sometimes fun to start from zero.
I know.
It's not like
reinventing.
This original company, we start. So my background's finance. For my long-term listeners know this, but background's finance. So our original company was actually called Money Matters Top Tips, and it was Money Matters, and it was all money. And then we look back, and like 2-3 years after into the business, we're like, wait a minute, like it just wasn't what we were doing. Only maybe 20% 90% of the content was actually about money. So that's where it all shifted to mission. And then that's where we literally restarted the entire company. New shows, new everything from scratch. We already had books published, by the way, under that brand. But myself and the other co-founder, Shirag Sagar, we were like, we're just not hitting where we're supposed to be at yet. And then once we went towards mission, which was more aligned with both of our values, not that we don't like money or we don't think about money. It takes money, and we're not ashamed to make money. Nothing with that, but it wasn't the big calling. It wasn't like the fit. So I only share that story with you personally, just because as you're doing your restart, and it's just,
I love that.
there's a reason. Like to me, it's like there's a reason for it, and it's a blessing, and I don't know what it is. I'm not saying I know God's ways or all that, but I'm just saying that for us, it was a blessing. When I hear these stories, I've interviewed over 6,000 people. When I hear these type of stories and I hear about those restarts or this or that, and especially with a mission as big as yours, it's like, oh my gosh, I know what's coming next. And that's exciting. It's very exciting.
It is exciting. And I feel like 2.0 Girls World Foundation is better and clearer and stronger. And I just feel like like you did, you know, it was there the whole time, but then when you get refined and cut out any fat that wasn't working, it just takes it off. So it's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Dena, thank you for coming on the show. This has been so much fun. Last thing I want you to do, look into the camera, tell people how they can follow you, follow your organization, please.
So if you want to follow me, I'm at denapatton.com. girlsrulfoundation.org is the organization. And then our T-shirts are at fabulous-t-shirts.com. And that's where you can get a Girls Change the World T-shirt, and 100% goes to support our mission.
Dang, where's my T-shirt at? Hold on.
I should have brought some.
You're doing promo, and where's the T? Okay. For the audience, I'll get my T-shirt later. But if you haven't hit the subscribe or the follow button yet, do that. But we're also going to put all the links to Dena, to the website, to Dena's site, all those different sites in the show notes, so you can click on them and head right on over. And definitely hit that subscribe or follow button to this show, because it's a daily show. Each and every day, we're putting out new content, new ideas, and hopefully new stories and inspiration that will help you along the way in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe and follow. And again, Dena, so much fun. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.